Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of Massie Messages. Today we have a very distinguished guest with us. We have Delegate Don Scott of House District 80 with us. And we're going to talk today about criminal justice reform and get Delegate Scott's opinion on what changes he thinks are necessary at state level and at local level enforcement. Good morning, Don. How you doing?
Good morning, my friend. Good morning.
It's an honor to have you here. Don and I have the distinction of sharing office space, and the other day he read an incredible statement that he wrote about everything that's going on currently in the world. So I would like for him to start by delivering that message to you all.
I would love to. The title is entitled Pain to Purpose, Time for Criminal Justice Reform. At times like this, it's our natural instinct to react to what we see now. However, with the horrific torture and murder of George Floyd, we have to look beyond today. It's a difficult challenge because the pain is so real now. There is a message repeating itself over and over with these senseless murders of unarmed black men and women. White supremacy may kill you at any time. Most black people and white people instinctively know this. The question now is, will we finally turn pain to purpose? We need to be purposeful about the problems we identify and the solutions we prescribe to address this legacy of over-policing black people and then criminalizing black people. Before Mr. Floyd's autopsy was done, some elements began to immediately devalue him by mentioning that he had been involved with our criminal justice/punishment system. The intent was clear. He is black, he is a criminal, he is unworthy of living. If he was killed by the police, then he had it coming. This punishment system always existed for black men. Although I am an attorney and I serve in the Virginia House of Delegates, I have experienced this treatment all of my life. My parents lived on Dowling Street in 3rd Ward in Houston when I was born. I learned early on that the police were to be feared and avoided at all costs. I spent summers in Jasper, Texas, where James Byrd suffered a heinous murder by white men who tied him to the back of a truck and dragged him alive down the highway. And there I learned early that white people could be dangerous to me. In Jasper, I witnessed my elders treating white teenagers with an inordinate amount of courtesy and care, while those teenagers returned that kindness with casual disrespect. The daily indignities of being black can be burdensome. If we respond to it all, we would have riots daily. Black people, for the most part, have always been tolerant. Even with all of our progress, Obama and all, we're reminded that George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery could have been any of us. That is why we are outraged and very afraid. We also built a so-called justice system that over-polices the black community with people who don't live in our communities or care for our concerns. We have a court system that ensures swift but not fair justice. We have a prison system that feeds on the fuel of black bodies for its ravaging sustenance. A 2018 Pew Research poll showed that a majority of Americans, black and white, know our justice system is not fair. They know that blacks are treated differently from arrest to sentencing. We need a system that people can believe in. We need a police system that is not afraid of accountability. All I heard when I made my mistakes was that I need to be held accountable. However, police agencies fight like hell to avoid accountability. Also, men and women inside prison walls, as well as their families, need hope that if they learn from the past, they can return and contribute fully. They can vote, they can earn a living commensurate with their abilities. Hope, reconciliation, and restoration should be bipartisan. We must support legislation that brings back parole. We must allow our parole board to do its job and not resort to cheap political stunts when folks are granted parole. We must extend the opportunity for folks in jail and prison to truly earn more good time by completing documented evidence-based education and counseling programs. We must examine barriers to gainful employment and remove unnecessary ones. I support the police. We need the police. We need them to do better. We must support legislation requiring reporting on all use of force by race of officer and suspect. We need legislation incentivizing diversity in police departments. We need legislation that requires a percentage of officers, or at least the leadership, to live in the locality. Some police took part in the criminal action this weekend during their response. Even as cameras filmed them, they should be fired and prosecuted. There were officers purposely covering their badge numbers. They should be fired. The police have to be better. There is no excuse for that behavior. Police cannot be exempt from the law. For us to be safe, the police need to rebuild public's trust. We must turn pain to purpose now, or there will be many other next times.
That's powerful. And I really enjoy the piece when you speak about pain to purpose, because it gives us direction on what we need to do. Now, with this next General Assembly session, are there specific goals that you're going to target related to criminal justice reform?
Absolutely. I think we made some progress with the Democrats taking control of the General Assembly. I think we made great progress. We took away the criminal penalty for simple possession of marijuana, which we know over impacts black people.
Yes.
Moreover, it gives the police probable cause to search and harass in some instances. So what we want to do next is legalize marijuana. There is a full push now, and I'm going to be pushing it as well as others. We must legalize marijuana. The problem that I have with immediate legalization last time is that there are things in the pipeline that would prevent the people who had been punished by marijuana being criminalized, unable to participate in the legalization financially. So we got to have equity. Black people who have been charged, even if they have a felony, should be able to be licensed to sell marijuana, especially if the underlying charge was a marijuana charge. So we need to make sure that it's fair in that respect. I want to legalize marijuana, but I want to make sure that there's some black ownership and some black equity in the legalization, so we get paid. We're not just customers again.
Yes, indeed. Very good. Very good. Economic power.
Mm-hmm.
What does criminal justice reform look like specifically for Portsmouth? What would you like to see different in Portsmouth?
Well, obviously, I think Portsmouth is, I think, at the forefront. We have African Americans in leadership in a lot of places. I think Portsmouth has the opportunity to continue to move in the right direction, regards being a front runner for marijuana legalization. I think the Commonwealth Attorney had stopped prosecuting those possession cases earlier, even before it was legalized. So that's a good thing. But I like to see that Portsmouth lead the way in bail and bond reform. I got a bill passed last session that took away the magistrates, gave the magistrates the ability in presumption cases. You know, right now, if there's a presumption against bail, then it has to go to a judge.
Yeah.
Now, with July 1, a magistrate can rule on presumption cases, so it wouldn't have to go to the court. The magistrate can do it right there. So I'd like to see Portsmouth's magistrates take advantage of that and give folks their liberty. One of the things that I have an interest in, people we just assume based on the probable cause summary that they must have did it.
Right.
And it takes away the presumption of innocence. And we need to start treating people as though they were innocent, even whatever the charge is, unless they got the smoking gun in their hand with witnesses there. We should, if it's an ID issue, which is usually a lot of those cases, it's an ID issue, that folks should be able to get bond. And that's what I mean.
Okay. Now, we have a pretty unique situation coming up in Portsmouth with our circuit, because of the state age requirements with judges. In a few years, we're going to have a brand new circuit court judgeship. So our whole bench will change. What would you like to see with these new judges that are going to lead these cases and these criminal cases, and will be in a position to give very lengthy sentences sometimes to people? How does criminal justice reform relate to what you want to see with these judges?
I think judges, like I was talking about with police officers, some people just don't have the temperament to be a police officer. It's not, you can train them to death. So what if they have the training? Training won't take away some of the things that we saw these people do. It's either in you that you have some humanity in you or it's not. That's the same thing I'm looking for with judges. Temperament and humanity and mercy. It's the reason that Supreme Court justices are called justice. That word, they're called Justice X, whatever, Justice Massie.
Yes.
I mean, they're supposed to deliver justice. And I'm thinking that our circuit court judges, we need diversity. We need people who have the right temperament. We need people who reflect the community that we live in.
Yes.
Across all lines. We need to be intentional about making sure that there's racial and gender diversity that reflects our community. And that's what I'm looking forward to here in Portsmouth.
Interesting enough that you mentioned gender, because Portsmouth still has not had a circuit court judge female circuit court judge. And it's now 2020, and we have not had a female circuit court judge.
I find that amazing, and I think I don't want to say where I stand right now.
Yes,
but I think on the record that is amazing to me and unfathomable in 2020. And I think that we have many qualified female judges female attorneys who could go on the bench. I'd love to see an attorney go on the bench, a female attorney. So I think that that's going to happen. I think that's going to happen in the next few years. We have one coming up here soon, within the next 6 to 9 months in circuit court. There'll be a vacancy. So hopefully we'll get the opportunity to put the right person in place who reflects the community, because judges have a lot of power, as you know.
Yes, indeed.
And they have to reflect the community. They have to be able to reflect the community norms. They have to follow the law,
yes,
obviously, but they have to be. But people don't realize how much discretion is within the judge's power and authority.
Yes.
And I'd love to see judges use more alternative means to incarceration. And that's what I see now. Judges have a hard time wrapping their head around GPS and doing alternative punishments that people can stay home, work, stay with their family. I mean, I always tell people, it's nothing more violent than snatching a person from your family and putting them in jail. I mean, physical violence is bad, but that economic violence is terrible as well, and that community trauma, taking people away. So I think there's a way to heal. We really want to get to a more holistic way of approaching justice, and I'm hoping that we get the right people, and I hope the General Assembly can continue to move in that direction. Very good.
All right, Delegate Scott, I know you practice law. Tell them what kind of law you practice and how to reach it.
Man, I do the same thing Michael Massie does. We're two of the best criminal law attorneys, and I'm putting myself in his category.
Hey, I'll take that.
He a beast, y'all. He a beast, and I'm trying to be like him. But we're two of the best criminal law attorneys in the area, in the 757, and we do personal injury law as well. That's our main area. That's one of my main areas as well. So, and I do a lot of. I deal with civil rights violations as well. I think I'm probably the only delegate in the House of Delegates, probably the only member in the General Assembly who successfully got settlements from police departments for wrongdoing. So those are the areas that I'm very interested in, and I'm looking forward to it. You can reach me, dscott@donscottfirm.com, and my number is 757-673-0001.
All right, thank you, Delegate Scott.
Appreciate it.
My fraternity brother.
That's right.
Don't be watching this.
All right, 06, y'all. Stop being nosy.
All right. Thank you all. See you next time.
All right.